Hey everybody, what's up from Roll, Minnesota, your state of skate. Hey, I'm Butch Lehman, and today we're in for another skate battle. And today's video is featuring two very different, yet very similar skaters. Now, in this video, I wanted to take a little bit of the past, a little bit of the present, mix them together, and these are two skaters that I think of as being on top of the entertainment side of skating, because they're always leaving audiences just dumbfounded by the level of technicality that they bring to the sport. Those two skaters include Montre Livingston, and we're going to take a look at his section Say Word 2, which is one of the really iconic sections out there. And we're going to match that up with Ilia Savosin and a new profile that he just dropped recently, and that one's from Inferno. Anyway, guys, I invite you to join me for this one as we take a look at two incredible skaters, Montre and Ilia. Let's check it out. All right, we're going to start it off with Montre Livingston and Say Word 2, and already coming out the gate with a massive gap. Now, if this video looks a little bit pixelated, that's because this video was originally published in like 2006, 2007, somewhere really early in Montre's illustrious career. Now, I remember he hit the scene with an explosion unlike anything I'd seen before. My first glimpse of Montre was in Black Market, and he absolutely shredded everything. He was a prodigy, and that's one of the reasons why I chose him for this video, is I look at Ilia Savosin in much the same way. Check it out, we got the giant Misty Flip coming off this construction site. He's garnering all the attention from all the people that are working, and they get to watch this. It's amazing that he's able to put that over the curb and still roll away from it. That's something you'll see in Ilia Savosin's sections too, is he incorporates flips in a lot of his profiles. So that's something I respect as more of a park skater myself, is when you can infuse those types of Misty Flip elements and big gaps into the street profiles. Check out the spinning that Montre had even from such an early age, hitting that 450 Royale and right into a line with a fakie 720. It's incredibly impressive. There's a reason I chose this section, and I can only speak very highly of this one. This one, like I said, was his explosion onto the scene. Big 540 over that gap. And here's some of the spinning tricks. You're going to see it throughout this profile, and this really encapsulates that era of skating. If we go back to the Brian Aragon, Chris Haffey battles, and the spin-to-win tricks were very much what competitive skating was all about. And people were pushing the limits with how much they could spin in and spin out of stuff, gaps as well. And Montre just puts on a clinic in this section. It's unbelievable. This is actually part of, I think, 3 different Say Word videos, and Montre had a part in each one of them. And every one of them is just an absolute banger. Coming up fakie here. Got like the little kick out Liu Kang on that full cab. Look how steezy he's locked into that true topsoul and being able to switch it up here. 360 switch up on the grind. So it's not like it's just a matter of the gaps or the big stunt tricks that we associate with Montre. He also has all of the technique. And again, this was a really early age for him, and he's just aged like a fine wine. Everything that he's put together since this point has become even more refined, even more technical. A lot of respect for Montre. Just the longevity and the influence he's had on the sport. Easily one of the top skaters out there, no doubt in my mind. Like that last little switch up that he hit in there. Look at this kink rail. Really aggressive, but then spitting out right into a fence down at the bottom. Looks like there's a little bit of landing, but when you're carrying that kind of speed going into the true topsoul right at the bottom, usually that's going to lead to some disaster. We got the 540 alley-oop soul on that one. Like I said, incredibly innovative, because these types of big spin tricks, although were commonplace in this period of skating, they were by no means common in terms of the number of people that were doing them. Like, this is what people were trying to achieve, and Montre was successfully achieving it. At the 540 kind grind there, the full alley-oop topsoul, very difficult trick. Even the fakie 540 topsoul. Got that second angle there. Absolutely amazing. Throwing another big Misty Flip over this gap, and you're going to get a couple of flip tricks in this one. And the big 180 gap through the shrubbery. Flawless. All right, so the first thing you'll notice here is the improvement in camera quality, and that's going from 2006 all the way to 2025. And it's crazy to me to think that about 2 decades have passed between these two profiles. Where's all the time going? But anyway, if you guys have watched Ilia Savosin's Instagram Reels or his other content, he is by definition an entertainer. He's Got all sorts of weird viral content, and he's got the skating chops to back it up. Like, I don't want to diminish that in the slightest. He's an amazing skater, and you're going to see why in this profile. In fact, I don't know how anybody could watch something like this Misty flip over the stair set, and not be impressed by it, especially with how clean he rolls away. And his arsenal of tricks is just, it's massive. I don't know how else to describe it. We've got this stylish alley-oop topsoul going down the rail, and then he'll make it even more technical with the true spin kind grind, which is one of the most difficult grind variations to do. And one of the other things that I think he's handicapped by is not having the same accessibility of skate spots that we enjoy in the United States, where some of the run-ups here aren't the best. But look at this switch up, just flawless, clean, stylish, 360 Mizu, 360 out. And here we go again, adding the flip tricks into the streets, the backflip. We've seen some backflip clips in the past in other videos. I think Leading the Blind had one with his Pat Lennon, maybe. Fakey backflip over a stair set. But that's an interesting way as a ledge roll where you have to keep your feet next to each other and set up for the flip. I don't know, guys. He's a very impressive skater. We got the disaster topsoul. Check out that shirt, sweat stance. Most dangerous trick in rollerblading. At least that's always been my personal opinion. The big long kind grind, picking up a lot of speed on that one. And taking those tricks where you're going backwards down a rail with that kind of speed adds an element of danger and difficulty for sure. Love this one. Awesome switch up is that back torque to true spin top horn. We got another line setting up here. Going into 270 backside backslide. Look how much distance he covers on this. Beautiful mute grab out of that back royale. Another 270 backslide. 270 out. Really strong absorption on the landing there. Yeah, Ilia's been doing a lot of like comparative skating videos, like clips where he compares his trick to another skater's trick. I think there was one recently with the kink rail with Jeff Dullness. I think that's kind of cool because it like spreads some light on the past but connects it with the present. And that's really my purpose in this video. You see him wrap things up there with a 360 soul grind. Super clean. Take your props. We love you, Ilia. So this is the part where we would typically battle these two skaters head-to-head with one another under 4 different criteria, and I'm going to make a slight modification to those criteria as we talk about Montre Livingston and Ilia Savosin. So first, we'll address trick vocabulary, and I think it's very similar between these two skaters, and that's why I chose them. We see some of those flip tricks on the streets from both Montre and Ilia, and that's something I really appreciate. We also see some gaps, some spin tricks, some really technical switch-ups. Now, I would give a slight edge to Montre. His section was longer, so he had more time to develop and demonstrate a lot of those street-style tricks and switch-ups and some of the more technical nuances of grinding. Like I said, it's a little bit of an unfair comparison given how the parts were created. Our next category, though, is style, and both of these skaters have distinctly unique styles that I enjoy. I think nobody would argue that Montre is probably in that upper echelon of skaters when it comes to some of the most iconic and crisp and fluid styles of all time. And this is still early on in his career, where he's been developing it and further refining it ever since. But I'm an absolute fan when it comes to Montre's style. And you can't argue, though, with Ilia's 540 alley-oop topsoul and how committed that trick was. Absolutely unbelievable. The fact that he was able to land that so cleanly is something we may never see again in rollerblading. Anyway, guys, at the end of the day, both of these two skaters were absolute prodigies when they hit the ground running, and ever since then, they've adapted and evolved as skaters to take this sport to new heights and to new levels of perfection. And that's something I really appreciate, is having that dedication to the sport, but also having a showman's attitude, a sense of entertainment value for all of the community and beyond. And it's that sort of investment that I think we need more of. Anyway, guys, that's going to wrap it up for this episode of Skate Battles. I want to know what you guys think of Ilia Savosin and Montre Livingston, and if you have any recommendations for other pairings of skaters that we could pit head-to-head on this program. Anyway, guys, I'm Butch Lehman of Roll Minnesota, reminding you all to stay safe, stay healthy, and get out there and do some rollerblading. Till next time, everybody, stay well. Peace.